What's up, everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Witcher. And last time, let's see, we got knighted. We saw that some people from Vizima, who I believe were affiliated with the Order of the Flaming Rose, are now in the middle of nowhere with us. And we also learned that apparently those elves that we were helping out earlier, well, it turns out they decided to thank us by, well, kidnapping many of the people from Murky Waters, or whatever the village of Murky Waters is called. So that's quite a way to pay us back for all the favors we did for them. You know, make it so that they didn't starve and everything. So we'll see if we can maybe use that to negotiate a bit with them and hopefully find a way to make it so that this doesn't need to blow up into something a little too confrontational, or, you know, seems like this could very easily get very out of hand very quickly. I mean, it pretty much already has. Wouldn't have thought that those elves, after seemingly being so nice to us, at least compared to other elves, that they would resort to doing something like that. So I'm hoping that we can find a way to find a peaceful resolution. But also, we're here at the Hermit at the moment because I'm fairly certain that this will be the last thing that we end up, or the conflict between the elves and now the humans that just showed up, and of course the people that are local to here that have been kidnapped. I think that's probably going to be the last thing that we end up doing in chapter 5? Or, no, 4? Whichever chapter we're in right now. But, so that means that we probably ought to take a closer look at some of these side quests that maybe we have a shot at wrapping up before all is said and done, and this might be our last chance to do that. So, like that? No. Not the dentist. Don't think we've done this. That's long ago. Really? I don't know if we have anything that allows us to collect Alp Fangs, because we've fought a fair amount of them at this stage, so I'm a little surprised that we haven't finished that one. That we have, and we need to see the healer in town, aka the witch, and I don't know, given how the town appears to be on lockdown, there might be a chance that we just can't turn that in anymore. So maybe still a little bit too little too late. But let's see, identity, that seems like that's just kind of an ongoing thing. This is one that I think we might look to do right now, which I was hesitant to get started on because it seemed a little daunting taking on the Wild Hunt, which supposedly is this group of not demons, like wraiths, ghosts, specters that are crazy powerful. So, you know, it seemed like maybe we should wait until we're in a little better shape or a little stronger before we end up doing that. And we do now have an amazing silver sword. That might be just the difference we were looking to get. Huh? Hold on. Where is this? Way back in the swamp? Did I not realize that before? Huh. Surprised that we didn't run into this person. I don't even know where the swamp cemetery is, I don't think. Other than that, we did also meet with Berengar. Yeah, we had this stuff going on. I'm feeling like I have to play catch up here. Found myself unable to strike Berengar down. He's flawed and full of doubt, but he's become a decent individual. Yeah, so he did fess up to us last time. Tell us a little bit more about his relationship with Salamandra. Alright, and then I think, for the most part, yeah, Lady of the Lake gave us the sword, she knighted us, and that is somehow tied to Alvin. I think the main thing that's left in this case is, where were you? Hunting the Wild Hunt, which, again, does make me nervous. Is in this druid circle, which we stopped by briefly. There's also a little, it's not showing up here right now, but this is a small farm that I don't remember if we've fully investigated that just yet, but let's take a closer look at what we need to do for the Wild Hunt, because it sounds like there are probably ways in which you just automatically fail this. Must defeat the wraiths that haunt the druid circle. Hermit claims I can keep the king of the hunt away by placing mandrake root on the fire in the druid circle and lighting it. Must use mandrake root to drive the wraiths and the king of the hunt away from the druid circle. Do I even need to fight them? Or is it just doing the mandrake root stuff? Because I think how I initially interpreted that was that you would use the mandrake root to fend off the king, because he would just obliterate you, but everyone else you would still need to fight. But maybe it's that you're actually fending off everyone? I'm not quite sure. That is not the druid circle, is it? No. Druid circle is over there. This just makes us more powerful temporarily, so, you know, seems like that might not be a bad thing for us to try to do. Igni sign, that's the fire one, right? Okay. Cool, and when we also have still in effect, apparently, for all of 6 minutes, which is the shield one, which we haven't used much, but honestly, this would probably be a half-decent time to start doing that. Okay, so brace yourself for us failing miserably here, because I do anticipate that will happen. Also, where's our mandrake root? Uh-oh. So, if we don't have mandrake root, which we don't appear to have, then we might just be dead. Also, I don't think we can complete this. Now, originally, I think we did get it from in and around the Hermit's hut. So it might be that we can learn a little bit more, / pick up more from him if we go back there, because that's not too far away. I can find him. I think he's over this hill. Now, will that stuff be back? That maybe is a different story. Also, will we be able to get around his fence? Mission accomplished. However, there's a round 2. And 3 that I didn't even see. Okay. I'm not going to talk to you just yet, because your mandrake stuff was right here. When we tried to interacting with those guys. Obviously, nothing there now. I do wonder if maybe if we speak to you, you can bail us out here?
How can I help?
I say that because otherwise, can we just buy it from you? And, at least one. I say that because, given how the primary town is on lockdown / everyone has been kidnapped, I'm skeptical that if we go back, we'd be able to get mandrake root out of our stash at the inn, which I'm pretty sure where we ended up putting it. So, I mean, we wanted to purchase any books and stuff like that. This might be our last chance to do that as well. I'm not necessarily sure there's too much we need to do there, but oh, I bet this is how we would have gotten the stuff for Alps. Yeah, this is how we would have gotten the crafting recipes. So that is another case of we probably should have done that as early as we could to set us up for success. Oh. Sounds good. I don't think I've seen that. I don't think I've seen, like, other vendors selling that. So, that seems meaningful to pick that up. This, I suspect we will not, or that will not be the last round of vampires or vampire-like creatures that we've seen, or will see. So, I think we do take that. And it may be that if we finish this Wild Hunt-esque quest, that it turns out we get one of these books in return, but you know what? Resell it. I'm just gonna go a little crazy on the purchasing here. And we'll read a bunch of stuff. Oh, unfortunately, he's smart and doesn't want to buy the things that we just bought from him. Okay, so here's the vampire book. Should have done a while ago. The book contains information on lesser vampires like Fletters and Arcanes. That might have been the type of vampire that we saw one of in one of those crypts. as well as higher vampires, including Alps and Bruxe. Okay, we did hear a little bit about the quote-unquote higher vampires earlier and how they technically don't need to drink blood in order to sustain themselves. And that seems consistent with the types of situations in which we ran into Alps and Bruxe, because pretty sure that's what the Lady of the Night and her crew, the type of vampire that they were the quote-unquote higher vampires, which makes sense, is how they were all elitist vampires, basically. It describes methods for fighting blood drinkers and dispels myths that have accumulated concerning these monsters. Yeah, there it is. Should have done that earlier. Definitely. And Flutter as well. Although, we already had the crafting materials for Flutters, we knew that. Okay, I don't know what this is about. Work mainly discusses fire genies, also known as Ifrits. We've seen those. Okay. The fire mages, including Azar Javid, has summoned these in the past. Oh. Give ingredients, okay. And then I thought there was one more. Yep, book of minerals. Minerals used in alchemy, including sulfur, acid stuff that we've seen, winestone, Nazian salts, calcium, equum, phosphorus, powdered pearl, pyrite, optimum matter, fifth essence, Ducal water, Albers crystals, lunar shards, and quicksilver solution. The alchemical substances present in these ingredients are also discussed. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. No idea where we would have found all those things. Maybe we would have found some of them earlier had we read this book earlier, because I have to wonder where one finds all those things, but, well, I'll have to settle for knowing it now. And I thought there was one other thing. Yeah, this. Petrie's filter increases sign intensity. Is that permanent? Probably not. Okay, so I think that's everything, or more or less everything that we wanted to buy from you. We're also approaching being broke. Just double check if there's anything else we ought to pick up. The insectoids, this is the one that we bought earlier that should have given us the information on Kikimores, and then I'm pretty sure I resold it before we actually read it, so my bad. But I do wonder if at this stage, maybe it's too late in the game for that to be worthwhile, because we kind of already did our primary stuff with all the Kikimores. We're getting down the Kikimore Queen. Few explosive recipe scrolls could potentially pick up. They are 600 and 400 respectively, which means we can just barely afford them. But I think we try do that first. Pick up all the mandrake root. Do we have space for it? Hold on. Happen. Also, there's a noon rate over there. Because we tried to buy one. If it goes in this alchemy sack here, then we don't have space for it. And we probably should have anticipated that. That's pretty common, I think. We should dump that. Other things, for example, that we might have found from drowners, which tend to be our go-to example of things that we could get easily if we wanted to. Like the brain tissue, or the acid. Okay. Now, let's instead buy the mandrake root at this stage. Yeah. So it just, we bought it, and nothing happened. And now we can't buy any more. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. So I don't think we can do that quest anymore, because, well, poor inventory management, ultimately, would be what did it. Is a little disappointing. I would have liked to have tested it out. It's ready to take the risk. But that may mean that we just I think we'll explore that little farm that's in the remote corner here. I don't think we've seen everything there. Might be wrong about that. Maybe it's just a brief little trip and there's not really anything there of note. In which case we'll head back over to town, but maybe when we do make it back to town, it turns out that it's actually fine for us to pop into the inn, pick up our mandrake root, and we can actually do the wild hunt stuff. It'd be pretty nice, but I'm just now trying to manage my expectations and tell myself that, you know, it would be nice at this stage, but let's not bank on it happening, because it may not actually be possible anymore. Okay, so this was going to be a simple trek until there were all these hills and mountains and stuff that made it a little trickier to make it there. I think if we go around this way, we'll be fine. Oh, okay, I do remember finding one of the noon wraiths, or one of the noon wraiths that was specifically the wife-to-be around here. Okay, is this just the area where we found all the wyverns earlier? Because we did see that. Supposedly we are at Mini Farm right now. We definitely have been here. Yeah. I don't think there's anything new for us. Other than maybe the occasional wyvern fight. That's not really any reason to feel as though we need to keep on going here, I don't think. I think we should be fine. In which case, yeah, we'll head back to town and cross our fingers that we can, in fact, still access our stash and, you know, town isn't in complete shambles after what the elves may or may not have done. I mean, I think we can be pretty certain that they did capture some people. But as for just how much in chaos that town is right now, I don't really know. I was, you know, kind of hoping that those elves would be different. They'd be nicer. We could trust them a little more. Look where that got us. Oh, where? Oh, there. You are much closer than I thought you were. But no more. Just wanted to pick up some Han, because I think this was the only place we've seen it. Was in and around here, so if for whatever reason we find that we'll need it in the future, then it'd be nice to have a little bit stockpiled up. In case, you know, say, like, for example, there's some scenario in which you have a quest where you need, let's say, theoretically, 5 of a certain type of thing. And, well, I'd like to have enough of that thing to complete the quest. But as it turns out, you may not have access to your stash. And therefore, you may struggle to get enough of said thing, because it's no longer available to pick up in the wild. Also, it seems like the stuff that we're finding here in these plants, with these plants, kind of just random. It'll say Han, and then it'll give us something completely different. So, yeah, you know, it's just a suggestion, really. A recommendation, like, you know, if you go here, maybe you'll find some Han, maybe you'll find something entirely different, maybe you won't. Alright. See what happens here. But I think we're about to run into a heavy dose of local village politics. And potentially some combat too. We'll see just how aggressive these elves are toward us. We help them, right? I get how they're mad at humans in general, but Us specifically? Okay, that is locked. So there's a large part of the answer as to whether or not we'd be able to access our stuff at this stage. Also locked. Don't think there was any way for us to access our stash from the other part of town where all the houses are. I kinda doubt it. And if the inn and the healer's hut are locked, then I would expect that the main area town here is probably also entirely on lockdown. And I would expect that we're going to run into some people here at some point. Prize-winning cow is still there. They didn't capture that, but, yeah. That's, you have more people here than you had before. You did not have any dwarves earlier. It was purely elves.
They name us squirrels for the tails on our caps. We'll replace those with human scalps anon.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm afraid we might not leave this town alive.
Okay, could you maybe consider peace?
I'm off to thump somebody.
Just a thought.
Humans
maybe?
are intruders. We aim to win back our world.
Damn, I'm hungry.
Oh, hello, Elvin.
Yes?
You alright?
I don't know, you came to me.
No. I feel strange. I can hear what they're thinking. It's terrible, Geralt.
It doesn't seem very good, based on what they're telling
I
us.
wear it all the time. I don't want to hear them. Geralt, why are the elves doing this?
Well, I mean, we've kind of systematically pushed them to the fringe of society and denied them the opportunity to reintegrate themselves and have a fair shot at living fair, equitable, safe lives, so, you know, I mean, kind of understandable. But, well, they're fighting for their freedom, for an ideal humans. What's the... yeah, that's pretty true. That's a little harsh. They have no other way, so they're desperate. I mean, yes, there is, of course, some truth to that, but refuse to concede that the world has changed. That's a little lofty for us to say. They've lost their lofty, beautiful veneer. One can clearly see the deep hatred they hold for humans. I mean, all these things have threads of truth to them, but I think this is
They're
the key
fighting
thing.
for their freedom, for an ideal. Humans have them up against the wall and they see no other way.
It's
I
understandable.
remember that, Geralt. Something bad is about to happen. I can feel it.
I've
Yeah.
got to talk to Teruviel. Stay here.
I mean, it's not like every single person that we just spoke to said that they want to fight everyone here. And that there's, like, twice as many warriors as we saw earlier, ready to attack innocent civilians.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, I mean, just a guess here, but I'm thinking probably not going to go all that smoothly.
Spare us, we beg you.
Also, when did you get a Scottish accent? I didn't think you had one before.
Spare my life, Master Elf. I've done your kind no harm.
And yeah, I mean, to that guy's point, it's not like these people here have been that aggressive toward the elves, seemingly. I mean, I get it if you want to take it out on the people in Vizima, because they seem to be more directly doing things against the elves. I'm guessing we're supposed to go here. But these people are kind of just in the middle of nowhere, not really attacking you or
Maybe I should meet him.
doing much to interact with elves
Why
at
stay
all.
and rot here?
Okay, also, like, where do we actually go? Where is Teruviel? Oh, directly in front of me. Right.
Geralt, why have you come?
I've come
That's-
to prevent a massacre.
There will be no massacre if they let us depart.
You could have left the children alone.
In faith I could not. White Rayla stands on that shore. Several peasant corpses made no impression on her. The children halted her advance.
What? White Rayla wants you to lay down your arms. She guarantees you a fair trial. I mean, White Rayla is, for context, that's the person from Vizima that we met last episode, who apparently I think is technically a mercenary who's working in affiliation with Order of the Flaming Rose, and by extension, the humans from Vizima. So, I mean, she says that. White Rayla, that is. I'm not necessarily sure that I believe her, because that seems like a very easy thing for her to say, and then get the elves to comply, and then turn right around and say, oh yeah, but I lied, and now we're going to slaughter you, or enslave you all. So, I'm hesitant to go this route, but I think I will.
White Rayla wants you to lay down your arms.
Because we also
She
don't have
guarantees you a fair trial.
many reasons to
You
trust
take me
White
for a
Rayla,
fool,
because we
Witcher.
barely know her.
White Rayla exacts only one punishment, death.
Yeah, I mean,
The
I
unit
kind of
from
believe you.
Vizima spoke of you.
You're probably
Why
right.
should I trust you?
Release the peasants, then you can kill each other as you please.
I shall release no one. Try any of your tricks and these Dwan will die. And tell that singer to cease lurking behind the house before someone puts an arrow in his arse.
Dandelion. Okay, yeah, so, where are you, Dandelion? Somewhere. Around the edge of the house? Hiding over there? There you are.
Geralt?
Dandelion, have you maybe had a little bit too much to drink or something? Because, or maybe just, like, caffeinated stuff? Maybe haven't had enough sleep recently? Your eyes are kind of popping out of your head right now? Yeah, so, I mean, if we were to play favorites here and say that we absolutely must get at least one person out of here safely, then presumably that would be Alvin, seeing as how he is this special, chosen elder blood child, but, I mean, ideally, of course, we'd like to get everyone else out.
Dandelion, things have gone from bad to worse.
Scoia'tael on one side, the Order on the other, and us in the middle with Alvin.
Right.
One should never negotiate with terrorists. Negotiation leads to concessions. Concessions are a victory for terror. Folks become fearful, uncertain. I chose the lesser evil. The bank's new owners were grateful for the Order's intervention. They agreed to support the crusade against non-humans.
Ew.
We won't need to wait long to see the results.
Okay. We're taken.
Geralt, what now? Leaving's not an option. You'd make enemies of both the Order and the non-humans.
I'm not worried about that. I'd rather save Alvin, but if I go, there could be a massacre, and I have friends to think about.
Right.
Witcher, this feels like a pipital moment. What you do
Thanks.
will have consequences.
Thanks,
So we
Dandelion.
grab Alvin and leave them to it?
So, yeah, in case that wasn't clear enough, thanks, Dandelion. But, so if we take this route, then effectively we do what we were saying before and rescue the one person who we think is most important, Alvin, and then leave the elves and the Order to fight it out, and I'm assuming the Order will probably win, since we sided with the Order in the past, and my guess is that's how that works. Metagaming a little bit there. But otherwise, I mean, not totally sure what Geralt would mean by this, because the way this is written implies that this is to say we're siding with the elves outright, and not just that we want to try to find another alternative, because it seems like there should be more than two options here. There should be leave with Alvin, which is what we see here. There should be stay here, which maybe that's what this is, but then within that branch, that umbrella of stay here, there should be two other sub-options, at least. 1, side with elves. 2, side with Order. 3, maybe, try to find some way to compromise. So, I mean, that's ultimately what I would like to do. I mean, of course, we've been hearing over and over that eventually we will need to take sides, and so it's not that simple, not that straightforward. You can't play the middle ground the entire time, can't be neutral. So maybe this is wishful thinking at this stage in the game that might just be no longer an option to do. So I'd hope this is not just outright committing to helping the elves instead of the Order at this stage, because that would be kind of inconsistent with what we've done thus far. But let's give this a shot?
No, I intend to help the knights.
Don't get involved, Geralt.
Huh?
Nothing good
That's-
ever comes of it.
I've decided. Can
What?
I help?
That's,
Sure.
I'm pretty sure, not what I said. Did I click on that second
I
option?
want to get Alvin out of here. I can't allow him to be harmed in any way.
Did I click on the first one?
The little one has come to love you as a son loves a father. We do not kill children.
I mean,
Take him with you.
kind of debatable, but... So now I'm confused as to what I actually clicked on, because this seems like the first option, but I thought I clicked on the second one, in which case, uh-oh. So, like... I guess we're living with the consequences of whichever, or he just stuck his hand through a wall, whichever one we did ultimately end up choosing. Hey, Truviel, like...
It's a trap! They're attacking!
Maybe, you know, you shouldn't have tried to fight an innocent group of civilians, because that was kind of stupid, and you forced my hand into taking action when you really didn't need to. Uh-oh. Alvin.
No!
What are you doing? Disappearing. Okay, so... Does, of course, appear as though we are fighting. Tend to help the Order against the Elves. Okay. Yeah, I mean... It was gonna come down to this at some point, right? Still object a little bit to the way in which this happened. But think... Whoa, what? Not mean to do that. Do think it was pretty unavoidable that we were going to run into a situation like this at some point. So, here it is. I think this is certainly us committing to saying we are going up against the elves and the other Scoia'tael. There's no turning back at this point. Yeah, come on. I wanted to turn that on. What is happening right now? Trying to, do that. I have no idea if our friends, I say that in quotations or with an asterisk, friends with the Order, well, I was gonna say can die. Answer to that is certainly yes, based on what we're seeing here. Hello. So, maybe I should have been a little bit more aggressive with the way in which we fought the elves here, because admittedly I was not really playing a front and center role here, and allowing the Order to do much of the fighting for us. Fighting's over, I need to grab Dandelion and leave this place. Hey, I mean... Guessing there's a fair amount of goodies we can get, though. Holy Axe. Order? I mean, that sounds cool, but at the same time, I'm not dropping my red meteorite sword for it. Ain't gonna happen. You can't make me. But there is a lot of stuff here, and you best believe I'm gonna loot it. Like 50 coins? After having spent a pretty hefty sum with the permit earlier. Battle hammer. Where's that dagger? We don't need the torch. That's probably something we could do without. Have we seen this? Maybe not. Okay, those are still locked. Whoa! I mean, it looks really cool, but it's actually not that powerful. And again, certainly is not going to replace my my red meteorite sword, so maybe next time? I mean, you guys dropping 50 coins apiece? Pretty sweet. The one that we were looking at. 26 coins and some grapes. Admittedly, not as good. I'm pretty sure I've looked at that one a bazillion times. I've seen those daggers before. Don't have room for that, but that's fine. Okay. I think that is everything, or very close to everything. Yes, for the 30th time.
An order's an order.
What?
The Order is always victorious. The eternal.
Oh, there were some remains directly below your feet. Right. Totally wasn't that I thought I was looting a live body there. Definitely wasn't it. And there's still stuff back here. Wow. Okay, so now, theoretically, we need to find Dandelion and others. Where? Like, where though? Oh, just back lakeside? Like, make our way out of here? Yeah, this way. So, yeah. Don't feel great about that, but at the same time, like I was saying earlier, not sure how much of an option we had. May have appeared as though we had an option when, in truth, there's really only one way we could have gone. That was, obviously, fighting the elves. So, I mean, I was really hoping that we would find a way to find peace, especially after having helped to feed those elves earlier. I was thinking we could pull that ace out of our sleeve and say, hey, but not so bad, right? Wouldn't have helped you if we didn't feel as if there was some chance of us, well, not fighting each other to the death. Old friend Steve over there is doing just dandy. And I'm assuming this is probably... Oh. Yeah, you. This is probably going to be our trip back to Vizima here, I would assume. There's Dandelion. But I think we probably want to try talking to you first, because, I mean, you did supposedly just organize that whole human attack there, or attack from the humans on the elves. And it's a little surprising that you're here and not over there where the fighting just happened, but
Witcher.
What happened?
Please do
Fucking
explain.
fanatics, not an ounce of professionalism. They stripped me of my command. When I refused to attack, my adjutant pulled out a letter from Siegfried. Had it all along.
Wow.
Siegfried.
How did it go?
I mean, looks like this is the only thing we can actually do to recount the events. Whereas this is more checking in on her.
The knights, Rayla. The elves are dead. Teruviel escaped, and the villagers are in shock.
Not sure I realized Teruviel escaped,
I
though.
don't intend to stay. Teruviel hasn't seen the last of me.
Farewell.
Okay.
Time I was on my way.
Sailed to Vizima, and
Time I was on my way.
apparently we can no longer check in with you, so... Fine. That way. I don't think there's anything else that we really need to do here. I don't think so. We've looted all around here. We've spoken to, I'm assuming, just about everyone we can speak to. I mean, we can try talking to the Resolute Girl, but I don't have any reason to believe that she has anything that will drastically alter our fate if we were to speak to her. I think ultimately, we're sailing back. And by sail, I mean rowing in a boat without oars. Because science. Dandelion? Alvin? Where'd you guys go? Granted, Alvin did do his whole teleporty thing, so that's not so surprising. Dandelion, though, oh, the little island. Right, that's usually where this would go. Lady of the Lake? Yeah? So this is not Vizima. We're going here first deliberately and maybe going to the altar. Did I take that hint? Because otherwise, I'm not to be sure how this ends in us making it all the way back to Vizima. Because we don't really know of the specific way back to Vizima. And I'm just gonna fight some basilisks for a second here, because... yeah, we had a Witcher contract with them already, but this is the only place we've seen them. So if, for whatever reason, we do in fact need to have access to more ingredients that one might find from a basilisk, and it seems like this may be the only other place in which to find them. Of course, there's always that chance. Ooh, we don't have enough space to stash it. That's true. Huh? Oh, that's actually one of these types of items. We could probably eat something, right? Grapes, namely. Let's eat the grapes. And take the fruit back if we really wanted to. Except it's okay, I didn't really need it. I take it back. Hello! Oh, I don't have the endurance to do that right now, apparently. That's okay. We don't need to use signs. We gotcha. We gotcha. We have more damage than we had earlier with our new sword. Plus 60%. I think it's as high as that. It's pretty crazy how high damage that is. We have looted that. We've looted, like I was saying earlier, I think just about everything. With the exception, of course, of being able to do that Wild Hunt quest, which does stink a little bit, because I was curious to see what that was all about, seeing as how it could have been. Pretty unique quest, I would have thought. Hey, can't win them all. So I assume that means that the next thing for us to do is to head over to the altar, where I, again, assume that we will find the Lady of the Lake and that she might give us a way to get back to Vizima, or otherwise endow upon us some much-needed knowledge. Or no one will be here. We'll head over here for some unexplained reason, and we will make it to Vizima for some unexplained reason. Or not. Or were we not actually supposed to take this boat? When they said sail to Vizima, did they actually mean, like, talk to the Fisher King, and he'll find a way to get you there, and not take that upon yourself, and accidentally make it to the island instead? Hold on. Did I do a silly? Let's see. Yes. Apparently I did. We were not actually supposed to take matters into our own hands. My apologies. How dare I try to be self-sufficient, self-reliant. I should have known. Geralt is not a master navigator of the oceans. He doesn't know how to make it back to Vizima. Never mind the fact that we have a map that clearly shows us what direction it is. It's far too complex. Maybe that explains why we didn't see Dandelion. Maybe not. Alright, I'll skip this stuff then. And that. In my defense, Dandelion was standing right there. Okay, maybe we're actually supposed to talk to Dandelion instead of just going straight into the boat. Or maybe the Fisher King. I'll talk to the Fisher King quickly, just in case we're supposed to talk to him first. If there's any reason to talk to him first. In hindsight, seeing that Dandelion is right next to the boat, probably should have known that we were supposed to talk to Dandelion, but we'll double check.
Take care.
And yes, I think that is more or less all the confirmation we need. But yeah, you know, just a brief little excursion to a nice, tropical, maybe not quite tropical, but remote island.
Geralt?
Nice vacation. It's bad, it's bad, it's really, really bad.
This is bad. Really bad.
What happened?
Alvin opened a portal and disappeared. He could be anywhere.
We need to get back to Vizima. Triss might have some ideas.
Vizima
I
it
hope
is,
so.
then.
But also, Vizima is supposedly in flames right now. There we go. And miraculously, the Fisher King is there. So somehow we communicated that to him along the way, even though, oh, we're abandoning the dog. I don't even remember seeing that dog, quite frankly. But I like how Dandelion's playing the lute. We're just sitting there doing nothing. Fisher King's like, guys, really? Not gonna lend me a hand here? That's the order, okay. Hold on, anything particularly of note there? I mean, we knew they were there. So, despite how dramatic that was, I'm not sure that it tried to make it appear. I'm not sure that that really changes much. Okay, and we're back?
We arrive in Vizima soon.
Smell that?
Yeah. Smoke. Something's burning.
Heavy and stifling, like thatched roof huts.
Oh, the swamp.
Damn it, Geralt, look!
Or the entire town. That too.
Gods damn it, Geralt. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
You should be used to the sight of fighting by now, Dandelion.
We should never grow accustomed to violence and horror, especially the sensitive among us.
Luckily, we mutants have no feelings. Is that what you mean?
Shut up and tell me what you're doing.
Berengar's letter contained some clues. To start with, we need to get into the city.
I don't remember what those clues were, but okay.
Safe.
I agree, but I won't give up now that I'm so close.
Nose to the ground, forging on. You're like a bloodhound on a fresh trail.
Old Vizima awaits.
Probably the site of the heaviest fighting, then there's the plague.
We need to get inside. Finally, I'll find out who's behind Salamandra.
Geralt?
I mean, oh. Ooh. So I didn't anticipate that we would see this. Also, apparently we have some friends over there. Huh. Okay, so I would like to maybe stash books and scrolls that we mostly were just holding on to for potential resale. But that may be old news at this point. Old Witcher contracts. Not sure if we had actually read that most recent scroll that I just... No, we did. Okay. So... things that are just for selling purposes, get out of here. I mean... that's most of it. But also, we probably have other things that we're supposed to talk to you about.
Geralt?
Like, you can't really fight? Sure you want to follow us?
You sure you want to come?
I'd never desert you. I want to help.
But matters may get intense.
I hope you don't think I'm scared.
Not at all.
Maybe a little. Okay. We'll do some quick looting. Oh! Yeah, so the Scoia'tael are very clearly fighting this things, people, burning houses in Vizima.
I knew you'd be back sooner or later. You missed a lot.
Greetings, Vincent. Why
Kinda looks like it.
I'm responsible for King Radovid's safety while he's in Temeria. We'd be deep in it if anything would have happened to him.
Has Foltest returned?
Yes. He's in old Vizima. Knowing whose orders we're following really boosted morale.
I need to get into old Vizima. I stand a chance of getting in alone, but not with... Do you follow?
What's going on?
I have a job for you, Dandelion, regarding King Radovid. The Witcher's flapping tongue would be a liability.
Why do I think you're up to something?
It's true. I'm not suited to converse with kings.
Done. Dandelion, wait for me at the king's camp. Geralt, do what you must.
Okay. So with that, I think this is probably a good place for us to wrap up on this video. I mean, hesitate to say resolved. Oh god, it's the heart attack music, it's back. Yeah, I think the game objects to that statement too. So, yeah, things are just going lovely right now is basically the gist of it, and so we'll just continue along those lines in the next video. So, hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.